The silent crisis no one talks about, and why you don't have to accept it. Have you ever watched an 80-year-old climb a mountain? Or play a full game of tennis like they were still in their prime? If you have, you know what it feels like to witness something extraordinary, not just physically, but emotionally. There's a spark of hope that lights up inside you. A whisper that says, maybe I can do that too. But for most Americans over 60, this kind of vitality is nothing more than a distant dream. Because here's the truth we rarely talk about. By the time most people reach their 70s or 80s, they've already lost nearly half of the muscle mass they had in their youth. That number isn't made up. It's backed by science. And it has a name, sarcopenia, the silent thief of strength, independence, and dignity. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing you can't get out of your chair without help. That simple act, standing up, becomes a battle between your body and gravity. Now imagine that happening not once, but every day, for years. This isn't just about aging. It's about how we age. In this article, we'll walk through 7 life-changing habits that have been scientifically proven to slow and even reverse age-related muscle loss. We'll go beyond surface-level advice and dive deep into the strategies used by real superagers across America. From hormone-boosting workouts to brain-body connection techniques, from strategic nutrition timing to hormetic stressors that make your cells stronger, each habit is backed by research and tested by real people. So whether you're turning 60 next month or you're already well into your golden years, this is your invitation to reclaim your strength, rediscover your energy, and rewrite your future. Let's begin. The number 1 secret to rebuilding muscle after 70 and why most seniors are doing it wrong. Let's talk about the single most powerful weapon in your arsenal against aging. It's not a miracle supplement. It's not some futuristic gene therapy. And it's certainly not something you'll hear from most doctors or physical therapists. No. This is something far more simple, and yet far more transformative. It's progressive resistance training. You've probably heard that phrase before. Maybe at the gym. Maybe from a trainer who tried to push you into lifting weights. But what does it really mean? And why do scientists at institutions like Harvard Medical School and the Mayo Clinic call it the most effective anti-aging medicine ever discovered? Let's break it down. Flexed biceps, the truth about strength. Use it or lose it. Here's the brutal truth no one wants to tell you. Your muscles don't care how old you are. They only care about one thing, whether they're being used. When you stop challenging them, they start shutting down. That's why so many seniors struggle with basic tasks like getting out of a chair, carrying groceries, or even walking up a flight of stairs. It's not just age, it's disuse. And the science backs this up. A groundbreaking study from the University of Alabama found that seniors in their 70s who started a progressive resistance training program gained an average of 3.3 pounds of muscle and increased their strength by 35% in just 12 weeks. Yes, in just 3 months. Even more impressive? These changes weren't just cosmetic. They came with measurable improvements in blood sugar control, bone density, and cognitive function. So why aren't more seniors doing this? Because most people think weight training is for young athletes, not for retirees. Or worse, they believe it's dangerous, or that they're too old to start now. But nothing could be further from the truth. Progressive resistance training isn't about bulking up or becoming a bodybuilder. It's about reclaiming your independence, protecting your mobility, and living life on your own terms, well into your 80s and beyond. Break the 4 pillars of progressive resistance training. Let's get specific. Here are the 4 essential elements that separate superagers, those remarkable seniors who maintain the strength of someone decades younger, from the rest of the population. 1. High-intensity effort to the point of momentary failure. Superagers don't just go through the motions. They push themselves. They train until their muscles say, okay, I can't do another rep. That's called momentary muscular failure, and it's the key trigger for muscle growth. 2. Compound movements that work multiple muscle groups. Forget bicep curls and leg extensions. Superagers focus on compound movements, exercises that engage multiple joints and muscle groups at once. 3. Progressive overload, always getting slightly stronger. Remember, your muscles adapt to whatever stress you give them. So if you keep doing the same workout with the same weights, your progress will stall. 4. Emphasizing the eccentric phase, the lowering part. This might be the most underused secret in senior strength training. Without resistance training, the cascade of muscle loss continues unchecked, eventually leading to frailty, falls, and loss of independence. Resistance training isn't dangerous, not training is. Preserving your neuromuscular junctions, the secret connection between brain and muscle that superagers protect. Imagine your muscles are like a powerful engine. Now imagine that engine is sitting in your driveway, with no key, no ignition, no way to turn it on. That's what happens when the neuromuscular junctions, the vital connections between your brain and your muscles, start to break down. And here's the thing, this breakdown begins long before you even feel weak. It starts quietly, subtly. You might notice small changes, like struggling to lift a grocery bag, or feeling slightly unsteady climbing stairs. But by the time those symptoms show up, the damage has already been happening for years. This is one of the most overlooked causes of muscle loss in seniors. And it's why superagers, those rare individuals who maintain the strength of someone decades younger, focus not just on their muscles, but on the wiring that powers them. Electroplug the hidden cause of weakness, when the brain stops talking to the muscles. Most people think muscle loss is all about the muscle itself, but science tells us otherwise. A groundbreaking study from the University of Michigan revealed that muscle weakness often begins not in the muscle fibers, but in the nerves that control them. These nerve endings, called neuromuscular junctions, act like tiny electrical outlets. They send signals from your brain to your muscles, telling them when to contract, move, and generate force. When these junctions degrade, which they naturally do as we age, your muscles literally become disconnected from your nervous system. Brain how superagers keep their muscles connected. The good news? Superagers don't just lift weights. They keep their neural pathways active, strong, and responsive through specific strategies that most seniors overlook. Let's look at the 3 pillars of neuromuscular preservation. Direct at number 1. Precision-based movement, training the brain-muscle link. A 2020 study published in the Journal of Physiology found that seniors who engaged in coordination-demanding activities twice a week had 31% better preservation of neuromuscular junctions compared to those who only did traditional strength training. Why? Because these activities force your brain to communicate more clearly with your muscles, reinforcing those critical connections. Number 2, nutrients that protect and repair the nerve-muscle connection. Superagers also understand that what you put into your body matters, especially when it comes to protecting the delicate wiring between nerves and muscles. Phase number 3, breathing techniques that activate the vagus nerve. Here's a surprising secret from superagers. They breathe differently. Not just any kind of breathing, specific techniques that stimulate the vagus nerve, the longest cranial nerve in the body that connects the brain to almost every major organ, including the muscles. Brain bonus strategy, mental engagement for physical strength. Perhaps the most fascinating discovery in recent neuroscience is that mental engagement directly impacts muscle strength. Hammer and wrench how you can start preserving your neuromuscular junctions today. You don't need to be a superager to begin protecting your neuromuscular junctions. Throughout the day, built significantly more muscle than those who ate most of it at dinner, even when total daily protein intake was the same. In fact, this strategic timing increased muscle protein synthesis by up to 25%. That's right, just changing when you eat protein had the same effect as adding extra workouts or supplements. 3 o'clock how to start today. You don't need to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Start small. Here's a beginner's plan. Add protein to breakfast. Try scrambled eggs, Greek yogurt, or a smoothie with whey or plant-based protein powder. Even a hard-boiled egg and a glass of milk can make a difference. Make lunch count. Swap white bread sandwiches for ones with grilled chicken, tuna, or hummus and chickpeas. Add legumes to salads or soups. Keep dinner smart. Don't eliminate protein at night. Just reduce the portion slightly and spread it out during the day. Aim for lean meats, fatty fish, or quality plant-based sources. Track your intake. Use a free app like MyFitnessPal or Chronometer to log your meals and see how your protein is distributed. Aim for 25-30 g per meal. Stay consistent. It doesn't have to be perfect, just better than yesterday. Small, consistent changes lead to lasting results. Light old final thoughts. Strategic protein timing isn't just a nutrition trick. It's a powerful tool that allows your muscles to stay strong, functional, and independent no matter your age. Seniors who master this habit aren't just eating smarter. They're living stronger. And the beauty of it? Anyone can do it. No gym membership needed. No special equipment. Just a simple shift in when and how you eat. Because when it comes to muscle health, timing truly is everything. Vitamin D optimization, the muscle vitamin most seniors are deficient in. If you could take just one nutrient to protect your muscles, bones, and brain well into your 80s, what would it be? You might guess calcium for bones or omega-3s for the brain. But science says something far more surprising. Vitamin D. not just any vitamin D. We're talking about optimized levels of this essential nutrient, not the bare minimum most seniors are told is normal. Because here's the truth. Over 80% of seniors in America are deficient in vitamin D, and they don't even know it. This deficiency doesn't come with obvious symptoms like a cold or flu. Instead, it works silently, weakening muscles, increasing inflammation, impairing balance, and making falls more likely. It's no exaggeration to say that low vitamin D is a hidden epidemic among older adults, and one of the biggest reasons so many struggle with weakness, fatigue, and loss of independence. Why vitamin D is so much more than a bone nutrient. Most people think of vitamin D as the sunshine vitamin important for strong bones, yes, but not much else. But researchers at Harvard Medical School have uncovered something groundbreaking. Vitamin D isn't just for bones. It's for muscles, for brains, for immunity, for life itself. In fact, every single muscle cell in your body has vitamin D receptors. And when those receptors are activated by sufficient levels of the vitamin, they trigger powerful genetic pathways that build and preserve muscle tissue. That's right, vitamin D doesn't just support bone health. It directly tells your muscles to grow stronger. A landmark study published in JAMA Internal Medicine followed over 2,000 seniors and measured their vitamin D levels alongside their physical performance. The results were stunning. Seniors with optimal vitamin D levels, above 40 nanograms per milliliter, had 25% more muscle strength than those who were deficient. They also had better balance, faster reaction times, and significantly fewer falls. Some would face why sunlight isn't enough anymore. There was a time when all you needed was a little sunlight to get enough vitamin D. But for seniors, that's no longer the case. As we age, our skin becomes less efficient at producing vitamin D from sunlight. By age 60, your body produces about 50% less vitamin D from sun exposure compared to when you were 20. How to optimize your vitamin D safely. So how do you actually reach and maintain optimal vitamin D levels? Here's a step-by-step guide based on clinical research and real-world success stories from superagers. Checkmark Step 1. Get tested. Ask your doctor for a 25-hydroxy vitamin D blood test. This is the only way to know where you stand. Checkmark Step 2. Supplement wisely. Most seniors need between 2,000 to 4,000 IU of vitamin D3 daily to reach optimal levels, especially during fall and winter. Checkmark Step 3. Eat vitamin D-rich foods. While food alone won't correct a deficiency, it can help maintain optimal levels once achieved. Checkmark Step 4. Get smart sun exposure. When possible, spend 15 to 20 minutes in direct midday sun, ideally between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. with arms and legs exposed. Warning: the critical role of vitamin K2. Now here's something most doctors never mention, but superagers know. Vitamin D needs a partner. That partner is vitamin K2. Without adequate K2, high-dose vitamin D can lead to calcium buildup in arteries instead of bones, the opposite of what we want. K2 directs calcium to your bones and teeth, where it belongs, and away from your arteries, kidneys, and soft tissues. DNA: what happens when you optimize vitamin D? Let's look at the real benefits, not just in theory, but in practice. Flexed biceps, increased muscle strength. As mentioned earlier, seniors with optimal vitamin D levels have 25% more strength than those who are deficient. Better bone density. Strong muscles mean nothing if your bones can't support them. Brain: improved cognitive function. Did you know your brain also has vitamin D receptors? Shield: reduced inflammation. Chronic inflammation accelerates muscle loss and weakens immunity. Running: fewer falls. Better balance, faster reflexes, and stronger muscles all translate to fewer falls, one of the leading causes of injury and hospitalization among seniors. Daily inflammation management. How superagers keep chronic inflammation from destroying their muscles. There's a silent fire burning inside millions of seniors. It doesn't come with the obvious signs of injury: no redness, no swelling, no pain. But it's there. Chronic low-grade inflammation. Scientists call it inflammaging, a deadly combination of inflammation and aging that accelerates muscle loss, weakens bones, and increases the risk of falls, frailty, and even cognitive decline. And here's the worst part. Most seniors don't even know they have it. They feel tired, a little stiff, maybe a bit slower than before. They chalk it up to getting older. But in reality, their bodies are under constant attack from an invisible enemy, one that slowly eats away at their strength, independence, and vitality. Fire the hidden enemy, how inflammation destroys muscle. Let's get scientific for a moment. Inflammation is not always bad. In fact, your body needs acute inflammation to heal wounds, fight infections, and repair tissues after exercise. But when inflammation becomes chronic, meaning it never really goes away, it turns into something dangerous. Muscle loss, weakness, fatigue, false dependency. A landmark study published in the journals of gerontology found that seniors with high levels of inflammation lost muscle mass 3 times faster than those with lower levels, regardless of how much protein they ate or how often they exercised. That's right. Even if you're doing everything else right, eating well, lifting weights, sleeping enough, unchecked inflammation can still sabotage your efforts. DNA why inflammation gets worse with age. As we age, our bodies become more prone to chronic inflammation. Man superhero, what superagers do differently. So what separates superagers, those rare individuals who maintain youthful strength well into their 80s, from everyone else? They understand that fighting inflammation isn't optional. It's essential. And they've developed daily habits that keep their internal fires under control. Let's look at the 4 pillars of inflammation management used by superagers across America. Person in bed number 1. Prioritize deep, restorative sleep. Sleep is one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory tools you have. Red apple number 2. Master gut health through nutrition. If you want to reduce inflammation, you must first heal your gut. Why? Because over 70% of your immune system lives in your gut. Balance scale number 3. Exercise smart, not hard. Yes, exercise is good for you. One 82-year-old woman I met in Arizona told me she walks 5 miles a day, does strength training twice a week, and practices Tai Chi 3 mornings a week. She credits her routine with keeping her joints pain-free and her energy high. And guess what? Her blood tests show low inflammation markers, exactly what scientists expect from someone decades younger. Teacup without handle number 4. Use natural anti-inflammatory compounds daily. Superagers also use nature's pharmacy to fight inflammation. They incorporate specific compounds that have been proven to reduce cytokine production, calm the immune system, and protect muscle tissue. Micronutrient optimization, the critical vitamins and minerals most seniors are missing that sabotage muscle growth. You've heard the saying, you are what you eat. But when it comes to muscle health, especially as we age, a better version might be. You're what your body can actually use. Because here's the truth. Even if you're eating all the right foods, even if you're strength training regularly and getting enough protein, if your body is missing key micronutrients, the vitamins and minerals that act like spark plugs for every metabolic process in your body, then your muscles won't grow. They won't repair. And over time, they'll weaken, no matter how hard you try. This is why superagers, those rare seniors who maintain youthful strength well into their 80s, don't just focus on protein or exercise. They also pay close attention to their micronutrient status. They understand that certain nutrients play starring roles in muscle function, nerve signaling, energy production, and recovery, and that deficiencies in these critical players can silently sabotage everything else they do. Microscope why micronutrients matter more after 60. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at absorbing and utilizing essential vitamins and minerals. Why? Because stomach acid decreases, impairing B12 absorption. Kidney function declines, affecting vitamin D activation. Medications like proton pump inhibitors and metformin interfere with nutrient uptake. Digestive enzymes decline, making it harder to extract nutrients from food. Chronic inflammation increases, raising the demand for antioxidant support. The result? Even seniors who eat well-balanced diets often suffer from hidden deficiencies, subtle but powerful nutrient gaps that erode muscle mass, sap energy, and accelerate aging. That's why superagers take a proactive approach. They don't just eat healthy. They test, track, and supplement strategically. Let's dive into the top 5 micronutrients that most seniors are missing and how optimizing them can help preserve and rebuild muscle strength. Flexed biceps number 1. Magnesium, the forgotten electrolyte for muscle health. Imagine trying to start your car without a battery. Light bulb number 2. Creatine, not just for young bodybuilders. When most people hear creatine, they think of young gym bros slamming shakes after leg day. Number 3. Methylated vitamin B12, the brain-muscle connection. Vitamin B12 is one of the most overlooked yet vital nutrients for muscle and brain health. Number 4. Benfotiamine and thiamine, B1 the neuromuscular powerhouse. Alembic number 5. Trace minerals, zinc, selenium, chromium. These three trace minerals may not get as much attention as calcium or iron, but they play outsized roles in muscle preservation. Imagine being 80 and still having the energy to cook dinner without needing to sit down. Still being able to lift your grandchild into your arms. Still walking confidently through the park, not because you're lucky, but because you've taken care of your body's most basic needs. That's not fantasy. That's what happens when you give your body the micronutrients it needs to thrive. Because aging doesn't have to mean weakness. It doesn't have to mean dependency. And it certainly doesn't have to mean giving up on the life you love.